All right. Welcome to our Opus 4 Best and Worst Rundown Part 3. This time we're doing Wind. All right, let's jump right into it. So for my best, I put Alexander.
Just rearranged it. Go ahead and swap him because fuck it, dude.
Yeah?
I also put Alexander.
Okay.
That card is so fucking useful, dude.
It's so good. It's okay. So Alexander, 2 cost. EX burst.
So good.
Just good by itself.
Mm-hmm.
Summon. Choose one of the following actions. Choose a monster, break it. So while it's not, it's a good effect right now, but I imagine further down the line as they make
It'll obviously
monsters,
do nothing but gain value.
Yeah, especially as they release higher and higher value monsters, stuff that are like 4 or 5 costs or something crazy like that.
Do you know what the highest cost monster is currently?
3.
3? Is that it? Okay, well.
So
Still value, dude.
yeah. So like it'll only gain value the more monster cards are released.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that it's just choose a monster, break it,
Yeah.
phenomenal. And it's an EX burst that could potentially, I mean, I don't know how game changing monsters are going to be, but let's say that there is a monster that has been plaguing you all game, and you get this from a damage or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
And then choose one backup you control, activate it, draw a card.
That's
Very powerful.
3 CP worth. Fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. So draw a card, get rid of a card by using Alexander. You could potentially, use an effect that you already used again.
Yeah. Which
Even
is really strong in Wind.
Exactly. Even something as stupid as like a special. I mean, you use a special backup, reactivate it, use special again. I mean, probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
But like maximum value, that's very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's phenomenal for its cost, and the fact that it's an EX burst is crazy. Like, let's say even just the EX burst for activate a backup and draw a card is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Just drawing a card off an EX burst, and then maybe you activate a backup that helps you stop the next damage from happening or something. So, very good card to me.
Yeah.
So my second was Onion Knight.
Dude, I knew I should have ordered it this way. The same thing went for me. Onion Knight was number 2, yeah. Like I was just saying to Gabe, dude, this card is just really strong. And I think it kind of has to be because it's a legendary. So, like, just entering the field, doing some damage, that's just a little wind thing to do. On top of that...
not only just on the field, when it attacks as well.
Yeah. Chip damage is a really big win thing. When he enters the field, choose a card named Onion Knight of any element except wind, so the lightning one. And then take it out of break zone and out of your hand. That's really strong, especially in conjunction with this special as well, which is pretty much just cycle him back into the deck, search for, the lightning Onion Knight, I assume from your deck because that's what search is, and then play it onto the field. Just really, really strong cycle combo card. I don't think there's a bad Onion Knight. I think all these Onion Knights are really good.
Yeah, to me, so the fact that you can do 3k off an attack is incredibly powerful because, in theory, you're a 10k forward at 4 cost, which is very powerful. Mm-hmm. If you're running, obviously if you're running this card, you probably have the other Onion Knights in your deck. Mm-hmm. So
especially light Onion Knight, because you can get this out with it.
Yeah. So the fact that you can bring out the other Onion Knights at the back of your hand or on the field, just a very powerful combo. Let's say you attack, right, with this Onion Knight, deal damage 3k to a separate monster. You destroy the first monster with your attack or something. Damage another one. Use your special. Bring out the Onion Knight.
And then it hits only damage forward. Yeah.
So then you can destroy, like, in theory, destroy 2 cards in a turn. Mm-hmm. I just think it's a really good card for the value. Granted, it's assuming that you're running
other Onion Knights.
Running other Onion Knights, but I
don't even think it's that bad by itself, honestly. Like you said, that 10k attacker for 4 is really good anyways.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with any other Onion Knights.
Interestingly, too, it's also a ninja class.
I was just about to say, one really funny thing I noticed was they're using the Onion Knight art from Dissidia, but it's not the ninja art.
Yeah.
yet its job is ninja, and it has a ninja special. It's just it's pretty funny.
But the fact that it's ninja gives it synergy with
Oh yeah,
other
with
ninja.
Edge and all the
Yeah.
that whole line right there. Yeah.
Now, granted, there's not really a lot of wind ninja cards. I think
I'm pretty sure
they're
there's
fire.
a lot. I think it's wind lightning. I think is what all the ninjas are.
You know what? You're right. Yeah. So this synergizes with other ninja core.
Which I honestly think is probably just alright. It's made a little bit better by this card. I don't think it like makes ninja OP. Like Dragoon and like Monk, probably still not that great. Maybe there's like somewhere you might be able to use them. I definitely think Dragoon's a little bit better now with its its searcher from this Opus as well.
Yeah.
But these little niche like groupings of cards are getting better, which is really good because it offers a lot of more options for people to play, which is really cool.
True. And if what you said is true and the ninjas are mostly wind lightning, the other Onion Knight is lightning.
Mm-hmm.
So that matches the color of the deck that you would want. In theory, if you wanted to run a ninja deck with Onion Knight to bolster it. So pretty good card, I think. Alright, and then so your third is Moogle, my third is Fat Chocobo. So I picked Fat Chocobo maybe for a bit of a selfish reason. I love standard unit decks, and a lot of the standard units that you can run are Chocobos because they're powerful party attackers, and a lot of standard units are all about buffing each other up. I just think Fat Chocobo is just a fucking fantastic card. You search any Chocobo of cost 3 or less in your deck,
which is pretty much
and
all
just play
Chocobos,
it.
yeah.
So it's essentially a 2-cost searcher that plays the card. Well, no, okay. It's a searcher. Yeah. It plays the card, and then not only that, but it gives you permanent utility in the fact that any job or card named Chocobo, you can give 2,000 power to the end of the turn.
Including Bart's. Which is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah. So, to me, just a really, really good card. Now, it's a very specific card, obviously.
Yeah.
But...
I mean, if you're running this card in your deck, you're 100% going to get use out of it.
Yeah. So, to me, just really, really good card.
Just a question I have for you. Do you think you'd maybe run more than one of these in your deck, though? Because you can't play more than one, and although you do get that permanent utility, it's not really like a destruction effect. I think it kind of sucks that you are kind of pigeonholed into running one of these. Like I said, I still think it's a really strong card, but I think it's kind of sad that you can only run one, whereas Chocobos you can run 3.
I think
it's a pretty big backup cost for 3.
Yeah, but I mean, if you get the others, you can just discard it for.
That's fair, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it is a pretty expensive card, like you're saying. If you draw this card instead of another card, you're gonna be like, "Fuck." But I don't know. I think it's you run 3 or maybe 2, but if you're running a Chocobo core, I think you definitely run 3 of these. Very good card to me.
Alrighty, and then I choose Moogle. I think it's hilarious. Just for efficiency's sake, this is a 0-cost 6K forward, which is just really good. I really like that the Wind Yuffie, which is free if you have Vincent. It's sort of kind of the same thing, not really, but the fact that you can get free forwards in this game is just astounding. When so much revolves around resource management in this game, it's just really nice to just have card draw first off, because that helps you like cycle through your deck and get really good cards you want. But like I said, essentially just a free 6-cost or 6K, really, really good.
Not only that, but it helps to bolster the Moogle core, which has kind of been lacking. There was like a bunch of backups.
That multicolor Moogle deck, yeah.
There's a bunch of Moogle backups that have been really lacking on the forward front, and so I think this really helps that core.
Absolutely.
So we'll see if they keep adding more and more Moogle forwards. Hopefully they do, and should be cool.
Yeah.
All right. Your honorable mention was
the Fat Chocobo, dude.
And my honorable mention was Kobold Droid Yin. Any reason you put this lower than you probably already said, just because the cost?
It's just a really big card that you probably don't want to play more than one of, even though it is really useful. It just kind of cancels that out with such the big cost. But honestly, like if I didn't think it was a good card, it wouldn't be the honorable mention. It's just a really strong card, like we discussed. It works well with the standard unit like Chocobo Bart's type of deck. It's just a pretty strong card, and like you said, it also has permanent usage in its action ability.
That's true. So I picked Cobalt Droid Yin. To me, this card is really good because essentially it's a 1-drop, and then you can activate it for 1 cost. So it's a forward for 2 cost.
Mm-hmm.
It's very comparable to
Zidane
to me. Zidane or Zidane, who knows? I say Zidane.
It's definitely Zidane.
So to me, it's comparable to Zidane.
Mm-hmm.
3k power, which is the same as Zidane, and then it can't be blocked by cost 3 rather than cost 4, which is Zidane. Now, granted, Zidane can't be chosen by abilities or summons, so that's in his favor. But to me, this is just if you're running a low-cost win deck where you're just zerging them for damage, no matter how strong their forwards are, this is just a really good card to add to that type of a deck.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, the more you use it, the less efficient it becomes because you're paying 1 win every single turn you want to bring it out.
I don't think it's necessarily a downside, though, because if you're getting that damage off, then that's why you're paying that 1. So I think 1 CP for a damage essentially is pretty good.
That's true.
I also wanted to comment on the fact that you can have more than one of these out on the field.
It's true.
So in theory, you can throw 3 of these, play, what's the summon called, where you can't block with stronger or higher cost CP?
Oh, Shimhazai.
Shimhazai?
Yeah, and this is
and it's a 1 cost forward. Those are
That's
not played. So this could be a really, really big combo type of core.
That's true.
So yeah, I definitely see value in this card. But like you said, it's a little bit easier to destroy than Zidane, which is another very like similar card. But yeah, like I said, I absolutely think you can find some usage out of this one.
Yeah, true. All right, and so our worst cards, Alexander 9K. Or the 5 cost Alexander, and I picked Ahriman. I was very close to picking Alexander.
These are very similar cards, in that they're
extremely niche for very powerful cards.
Very hard to use effects.
Yeah.
The game is not rife with 9 cost or higher power forwards. A lot of the strongest ones you'll see are about 8. Of course, there are more powerful cards. But I think there's probably easier ways than this to destroy said cards. Just one really quick example. If you're playing, what's this dude's name? Cyan. You use that special ability. Instant. Now, I'll give it that it's an EX, and that makes it not as bad. But I still think this card is just way too specific to really get as much usage as you'd want out of it.
Yeah. Like I said, I was really close to picking this as well. It's just not.
It's a pretty bad card.
Yeah, not very. It's just so. It's like the old Alexander, that the FF13 version, where it's like if it's a 5 cost or greater, break it. It's also an EX burst.
3D hard defined.
Yeah, it's just not common that it comes in use. Mm-hmm. So I picked Ahriman. To me, it's a similar thing. It's a 2 cost monster. And then 1 cost to use its effect. Mm-hmm. There's not the first effect. There is not a 5 cost monster in the game, so that effect is currently useless.
Nice.
And then the second effect is destroy a forward of 5 cost or more. Mm-hmm. Like it's the same thing with the other Alexander and this Alexander. It's just not common that
even looking at it that
5
way
or more.
Dude, this card is already better than Alexander because it's pay 3, choose a 4 to 5 cost or more, break it, which most of these 9 cost or higher will probably be. So Ahriman's a better choice than Alexander.
Yeah. So but it's just to me it's just not a very good card. It's a very specific scenario where this would be useful. And then even so, a lot of the win cards circumnavigate cards that are that powerful to begin with.
Well, I think this kind of flows in with that just in a really bad way.
Yeah, that's true, but like if you're using Cobalt Droid anyways, it doesn't matter if they have a 5 cost on the field.
Unless it has a really good effect.
Yeah, now granted they can, you can't destroy their monster otherwise, but if you're trading and you have like 4 Cobalt Droids on the field, 3 obviously, but and they just have one strong monster. It doesn't matter if they have that one strong monster because you're going to be doing 3 damage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyways, so yeah, to me the wind felt pretty lackluster. There wasn't any like standout super hard staple cards.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them were very specific.
Alexander, dude, the good one.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
But to me, there wasn't a lot of just like any deck kind of cards.
Mm-hmm.
It's more specific to a core of cards that already existed.
Yeah.
So pretty on the wins.
I felt exactly the same way.
All right.